What if your AI art could speak back to you? Not just move, but deliver a message,
Every image holds a voice.
sing a verse,
Through the hush, a whisper threads, tangled in what the ancients said. Not a spell, but something near.
or tell a story in its own voice.
Once upon a time in the digital realm,
That's exactly what today's video is all about. Hi, I'm Jessica with the Real AI Agents, and I've been experimenting with all kinds of tools to breathe life into still images. But two tools consistently stand out in this space: Hedra AI and Runway ML. They both let you animate characters with motion and emotion. So today, we're diving deep into how these tools compare when it comes to giving your AI art a voice. Whether you're creating talking avatars, musical enchantresses, cinematic narrators, or otherworldly beings. Ready? Up first, the basics: how to use Hedra and Runway to generate image to speech videos. If we come over to Hedra and we hop in, we can come right over to video here. And you have a couple of options. You can bring in an image that you've already created, or you can create an image here. You can capture an image with your actual webcam, or you can upload an image you've already created. So if you want more information on that, be sure you check out one of our other Hedra videos where we explain creating your characters. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do upload image. I have some characters over here that I've already created that we're going to be using. So let's go ahead and grab our character one example here, and we'll just drag and drop that right on into the frame. And then for your audio script, if you click here, you can see that you have generate speech, record your own audio, or upload an audio file. So if we want to stay inside of just Hedra to do this, we can come over to generate speech here. First thing you need to do is choose a voice. You can come in, and by hitting this little play button here, you can hear the different voices. For this one in particular, I'm going to go ahead and grab Rachel here. And so you can see up here that I've selected Rachel. You also have the ability to create your own voice and to change the language of the audio that you're creating here. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it in English. And I'm going to drop my line in here that I want the character to say. All I have to do at that point is hit generate audio here, and you can see it's going to cost me about 2 credits in here to generate this audio.
I'm more than code and pixels. I'm a spark of creation, given voice by AI. Let me show you how I came to life.
Okay, so there you can hear the voice creation inside of here. I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't have a lot of emotion to it. This is very 12 months ago if you were going to do your lip sync. So that is definitely an option that you have. And if you want to use that audio, all you have to do is hit add to video here. But I'm going to hop into 11 Labs, and I'm going to come over to text to speech. You can see I've already dropped my line in. I've chosen Rachel as my voice over here. And what I'm going to do to enhance the emotion of this is go ahead and hit V3 Enhance Alpha here. Perfect. So we can see now that it's added in some emotion here with the excited, enthusiastic, and thoughtful. I'm going to go ahead and hit keep. And then I'm going to generate the speech. I think the first one is a little bit more emotive, so I'm going to go ahead and just download that. And then all I have to do is come back to my Hedra video screen and pull that right on in and drop it off. Then all I need to do is hit add to video here. And now I can prompt for emotion and gestures if I want. You can see here that's optional. So let's just leave that blank so you can see what we can get here. And it's going to be 43 credits on this. As that's working, let me show you the setup inside of Runway. When you come to Runway, if you go to this go to dashboard here, you'll see at the bottom you've got all tools. Once you select that, it will bring up the lip sync video here. So you'll notice here that you can actually drop a video or an image into Runway. So you can't drop a video into Hedra right now. It has to be a still frame image. But let's go ahead and drop that same one in here. And you can see it frames and identifies her face here. So the next thing we need to do is put in our audio. So we could generate here the same way by putting in our straight script line, or we can upload our dialogue by hitting this upload audio button. And then the same thing, you can drag and drop that audio right on in here. And now all we have to do is hit generate. Now, the thing about Runway is you don't know how many credits it really is going to take until you generate it. So we can see I've got 983 credits before I generate this. Since Runway is generating, let's take a look at what Hedra did for us.
I'm more than code and pixels. I'm a spark of creation, given voice by AI. Let me show you how I came to life.
Not bad. You notice there's a little bit of blurring, especially around her eyes as she speaks. I can tell you that in Hedra, the output is 720p. You can see that right down here. It doesn't go up to 1080 or 4K. So what you have to do to clear that up is use a system like Topaz Astra or DaVinci AI Scale to upscale your video. Or you could even use something like Luma's Upscale in their editor to upscale your video to 4K. That will take it from looking like this.
I'm more than code and pixels. I'm a spark of creation, given voice by AI. Let me show you how I came to life.
To looking like this.
I'm more than code and pixels. I'm a spark of creation, given voice by AI. Let me show you how I came to life.
If we come over to Runway and check out what Runway made,
I'm more than code and pixels. I'm a spark of creation, given voice by AI. Let me show you how I came to life.
so you can see much clearer on the output on Runway. It did cost me 40 tokens to generate that. So there you go. You know the basic setup on how to pull in an image or create an image, generate a voice, or pull in an audio voice and create your lip sync character in both systems. Now let's get into the nitty gritty of comparing them and what each system is capable of when it comes to lip syncing and giving your AI characters a voice. Now let's look at what system I choose to use when I'm lip syncing vocals to songs. Why? When it comes to what I do in Hedra most often, that is where I tend to do my lip sync for when I'm doing a song and I need a songstress to be singing it. So for example, if we come into Suno, and I'm just going to come over into my library and grab a recent song. Let's go with something I haven't played here yet. Let's try this one.
One note to awaken, one breath to ignite. In silence I wait where voice meets light. Soft as the veil between dreaming and day, a song escapes where silence lay.
Okay, so let's say I want to take just a portion of this to lip sync with her. I can come up to crop here, and let's say I just want to take this portion right here, go about 24 seconds in. I can hit crop. When I come back to my workspace, that crop song is going to be the first one that shows here. We can see the crop song. I can go ahead and do download as a WAV file. I can come back into Hedra and I can drag my start frame right on in there. And then I can grab that song from Suno and drop that right into the audio script. We can see it's 24 seconds here. I can hit add to video. And this time I will put in a prompt for the gestures and the movement. And you can see this one's going to cost me quite a bit more on the credits. It's 146 credits here. I am only using the Hedra Character 3, but you'll see that there are many different models that you can use. If you want more information about that, I've got plenty of Hedra tutorial videos I've done in the past where we talk about those different models, so be sure you check those out. And hey, if you're learning something, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn those notifications on so you don't miss any of our videos. We do everything from creative projects made entirely with AI platforms to tutorial videos to teach you how you can make your own creative AI projects as well. To show you why I choose to use Hedra, let's go ahead and set up that same song and image inside of Runway here. So again, we're going to come to all tools. We're going to go to lip sync. I'll drop my character off. I'll upload my audio, and you can see now I'm down to 773 credits, but let's go ahead and generate that. Again, there's nowhere to prompt the expression or the movement that I want from her like there is inside of Hedra. So we'll let this generate here. So let's go ahead and check this out.
One note to awaken, one breath to ignite. In silence I wait where voice meets light. Soft as the veil between dreaming and day, a song escapes where silence lay. Notes like embers, slow.
So you see a lot of facial expression, a lot of movement. Her hands and arms are moving. I did this image because she's slightly looking away from the camera, and I have something really cool I want to show you guys in just a second with this exact video. But let's see what Runway did with it. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this one from Runway now and take a look.
One note to awaken, one breath to ignite. In silence I wait where voice meets light. Soft as the veil between dreaming and day, a song escapes where silence lay. Notes like embers, slow.
So you can see very static movements here. Her arms are not moving at all. Her body has no movement. Her head just slightly kind of bobs back and forth as she sings. But her character doesn't break the eye contact while she's singing, like over on Hedra. Now again, this does need to be upscaled. It's a little blurry. It has a little bit of noise going on in the actual video, especially around her eye and some of the different facial features. But you can see much more emotion, much more stylization to the movement here on Hedra when it comes to the singing characters. Now let's look at what system I use when I have multiple characters in a scene to lip sync. Because Runway has such high quality and additional features, one of the things that I use Runway most often for when it comes to lip syncing is doing multiple characters together in one video. So if I bring in an image here, we'll start over, get rid of all of this. And I'm going to drop in this image I have here of two characters. We've got the enchantress and the wizard here. And we're going to do a little joke scene between the two of them. So you can see that it's identified face 1 and face 2. So now we need to put our dialogue in. I've created some dialogue in 11 Labs to use for this example. So first up, I'm going to do upload audio. And I have my first character, Rachel's voice here that I want to use for the first part. So I need to identify that I need this to be Rachel. So by clicking on this little face with the plus sign here, I can choose which character I'm using. So I'm going to use character 1 for this. Then I'm going to hit add speaker. And then I'm going to pull over the first speech that I need the male character to say. Then I'm going to hit the icon again and choose his character. So again, there's another line I need to add here. And that's going to be Rachel's character. I'm going to add, you can see I can do up to 10. So I'm going to add another one here. And I'm going to choose the male character again. Female character, and then we're going to end on the male character here. So now we can see our setup with the female character, the male character. They have each of their lip sync lines put in as the dialogue. You can see I've got 943 credits up here when we start generating this video. So let's go ahead and generate that. Now on Hedra, you'll notice while I can bring in the image with the two characters, there is no way to generate the speech between the two characters inside of Hedra. There also is no way to upload audio in multiple layers inside of Hedra. So, in order to do this, I would literally have to isolate each character and bring in each line together and then piece it together somewhere else, like Canva or DaVinci. So, for multiple characters, Runway definitely takes the win on that. One of the other very nice things about Runway's lip sync is that I can get rid of that image there that is generating with the character duo. And I can bring in an entirely different image with two totally different characters and a totally different style. And it will identify the faces and put them right in where it needs to go. And then I could just generate that again in a completely different style. And you can see you can do it in multiple different types of styles. So that was a 3D render. This is an anime style here, still identifies each face, puts them directly in here where they need to go without me having to re-input the audio, reset up the whole thing. All I have to do is trash the original image, bring in the new image, rerun it until I have the scene that I want. Okay, so now that that video is all generated here, we can see that I'm at 918 credits, which means this whole video only cost me 25 credits to generate. So let's take a look. It's 30 seconds long here.
Tell me again, Great Wizard. How did you accidentally give the forest Wi-Fi?
I whispered to the trees in binary. They misunderstood and installed fiber.
And now every squirrel has a streaming channel.
At least they lip sync better than you.
Please. My mouth moves with the rhythm of cosmic code.
All right, enchantress of uploads. Let's sync our spells and show them how it's done.
Okay, so all in all, not bad. Not as much facial expression, emotion as what I would like for it just being a raw input video, but there are ways around that. Because you're able to upload a video into Runway before you do the voice narration part, you can actually add some animated expressions to their faces using an AI video platform or Runway itself before bringing that video in and adding those expressions into the video with your lip sync output. If I bring my duo into the video animator here and I put a prompt in to get them to be joking with one another.
Tell me again, Great Wizard. How did you accidentally give the forest Wi-Fi?
I whispered to the trees in binary. They misunderstood and installed fiber.
And now every squirrel has a streaming channel.
At least they lip sync better than you.
Please. My mouth moves with the rhythm of cosmic code.
All right, enchantress of uploads. Let's sync our spells and show them how it's done.
Now let's look at what system I use when I have multiple characters in a scene to lip sync. Okay, so before we wrap up for today on how I use these lip syncing tools, I do want to show you guys how you can do non-human characters and non-realistic avatars as well. So let's go ahead and jump back into Hedra. I'm going to do start frame, and this time I am actually going to create the image inside of here. So I'm going to go with Flux 1.1 Pro here. I'm going to put in a prompt and I'm going to hit generate. It's going to cost me about 7 credits here to make this squirrel. And perfect, we've got a squirrel standing in front of the ring light here. So we're going to go ahead and do add to video. And then we're going to do an audio script here. I'm going to generate the speech inside of here, and let's just create a voice. Okay, so this squirrel sounds like a Sam. We're going to do Sam. And then I'm going to put in a line I want him to say. And again, remember, this won't have as much emotion as it would if I did this audio inside of 11 Labs, but let's go ahead and add this to the video. You can see it's going to cost me 32 credits to get this squirrel to talk. Now, let's say I want to compare apples to apples on Runway with the squirrel. I can come into my history and I can hit this download button. And then I'll have that exact image of the squirrel, which I can now take over into Runway and drop off. And you can see now that Runway, because it is not a human face, it's a character, it will not detect the face. So I actually can't do the lip sync on that squirrel inside of this system setup right here. So you see, Hedra again wins for the character animation. when it comes to lip syncing a non-human face. So if we come back, we can
Bro,
see.
I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
Okay, well, that was a little weird. It added in a second squirrel that spoke.
Bro, I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout.
So that's no good. I don't like that. So let's try again with an image I created inside of Midjourney with the same audio that we created inside of Hedra. And just for comparison's sake, we'll bring over the same image and drop it off in Runway and see if it's able to detect a face there. Nope, no face there again. So we're not going to get that squirrel to generate lip sync over on Runway. So let's see if it did any better
Bro,
here.
I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
So you can see while it does do the mouth movement on the characters, it doesn't always perfectly align like it does with the actual human faces.
Bro, I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
But you can get a feel for what's going on, and it is definitely good enough to use in an AI creative project. Now, if I don't want to use an image I've created inside of Hedra or an image I've created somewhere else that I've pulled in, I can choose a different model. So for example, let's just go ahead. We'll do a Veo 3 fast here. And I can put in a prompt with the line of what I want the squirrel to say and the character. I can go ahead and create this now inside of here. Now, I'm not getting to choose what the voice sounds like. I'm not getting to choose what the image looks like. But using a prompt, I can produce a video that should have the talking squirrel. Let's see what happens here. And me showing you guys that the squirrel doesn't work inside of Runway here is sort of a teaser for a video we have coming up very soon, where we're going to show you what Act 2 is inside of Runway and how you can actually use a green screen and your own acting to make your characters who are not human characters appear to be doing what it is you want them to do. So I'm sure you've seen some really great examples of this on platforms like X, where you can see someone doing the performance and then it uses diffusion to actually show that on your character. So like you can see here, they have a talking raspberry example and an example of what you're doing. I'm not going to cover that in this particular video. That's going to be a longer video, but it is going to be coming up very soon, where we're going to cover Act 2 and Aleph. So coming back to Hedra and checking out that Veo 3 fast video that we just made together. It did cost me 440 credits, but you can see it does have a Tech Bro squirrel, even has the laptop, the microphone, and the ring light behind him.
Bro, I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
So there you go. Huge difference between using the Hedra 3 with a image created inside of Hedra
Bro, I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
to pulling in a Midjourney picture
Bro, I just enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
to the Veo.
Bro,
3
I just
fast.
enchanted a ring light. I'm literally glowing with clout right now.
So you can see how there is definitely a way to get it done. I am not sure why it's showing a black lab up here for that squirrel video that we just had. That's very interesting. But that is definitely our squirrel video. There we go. Strange. There are weird things that happen inside of these systems all the time. So we'll just chalk that up as a strange happening for today. There you have it. Hedra versus Runway. I hope that you learned something today, and I hope that you're inspired to go create something amazing. Thanks for spending some time with me today. My name's Jessica with the Real AI Agents, and as always, keep looking towards the future.